Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter's funeral procession is underway in Georgia with a motorcade carrying his casket traveling through his hometown of Plains. On Tuesday, Carter will lie in state in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda until a funeral service scheduled for Thursday at Washington Cathedral. He will later be privately buried in his home state of Georgia. The 39th U.S. president died on December 29th. He was 100 years old. Let's discuss this now with Ivan Eland. He is a senior fellow and director of the Center on Peace and Liberty at the Independent Institute and joins me live from Washington. Thank you for being with us on the program. So just talk to us a little bit about the legacy that he's now left behind, not only for the work that he's done while he served as president, but even after he left office.
Well, he was a humanitarian in various aspects. He helped with really reduce dramatically the guinea worm problem that Africa has and other medical types of charity. He also built a lot of homes for the disadvantaged by promoting Habitat for Humanity, where he'd actually go out and help build the house himself. And of course, he was involved in many peace negotiations after he left office. And of course, that continued his peace initiative in Camp David while he was president. And I think, we laud him because his ex-presidency is much longer than his presidency, which only lasted 4 years. But he did a lot of good things when he was president, too. He gave back the Panama Canal to the Panamanians. He negotiated arms control with the Soviets. And he, of course, the Camp David I just mentioned. And he also did things domestically, such as deregulating four industries, which made prices cheaper for consumers. So he did a lot of things. He wasn't a perfect president, but he was better than I think historians have given him credit for so far. So we'll see if now that he's passed, a lot of our presidents improve the ratings among the presidents when they die, and I think he probably will as well.
Right, and as we look at these pictures, these live pictures of his motorcade passing through the Georgian state capitol, I want to kind of talk about some facts that are quite unknown about the late president. So before entering politics, apparently Carter, he was a successful peanut farmer in his hometown of Plains. He was trained as a nuclear engineer in the U.S. Navy. He was the first president that has been born in a hospital. And apparently he took up beekeeping after leaving the White House. What kind of a lasting impact, Ivan, do you think that he's going to have on American society, having been a president who created many institutions that have been vital for the public today?
Well, I also think he led a moral example. He was a very religious man, and he was really the first president to be a born-again Christian. And so he was very concerned with the morality of policy. And some said too much, because in the knock 'em down world of international and national politics, sometimes he appeared to be naive. But I think people realized that he did try to do the right thing, and sometimes that wasn't, too popular, especially among his own party, the Democratic Party, because he had bad relations with his own party a lot of the time because he was trying to do the right thing. But he wasn't a perfect president. But I think people always had the idea that he wasn't enthralled to the rich people or the corporate interests and that sort of thing. And I think he lived his life that way too. I mean, he grew up humbly, and then after he left the White House, he and his wife lived in a modest house back in Georgia for the rest of his life.
Right, and looking at the current political system in America, of course, President-elect Donald Trump, he's going to be inaugurated on the 20th of this month. What examples do you think that he can take from Carter's term?
Well, I think, our political system in the United States is sort of deteriorated as far as civility and even, trying to do the right thing for the country instead of doing acting in politicians, and Trump, not just Trump, but all politicians seem to be, to the public at least, acting for themselves. So I think Carter's legacy will be that he cleaned up after the Watergate scandal, where Richard Nixon did a lot of corrupt things. And I think maybe we'll see another Carter coming down the road here very soon. And maybe he can clean up some of the corruption that we have in our system from both parties, really.
Right, and we're looking at live pictures of the funeral procession of the former U.S. President Jimmy Carter that's currently underway there at the Georgian state capitol, with many people paying their respects to the late president. On Tuesday, he will lie in state in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda until a funeral service that is scheduled for Thursday that will be held at the Washington Cathedral. Ivan Eland, thank you so much for joining us here on TRT World.